How's it going, guys? It's Doc. Trump just finished his crypto summit, and I gotta say, it felt a lot like a nothing burger. It really did feel like we learned no new info. I'm at Starbucks, just leaving clinic, heading to the hospital, but I wanted to get this out to you guys as quick as I could. I even busted out my mini mic here. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name's Doc. Throughout the day, I'm a resident physician. That's what I'm doing right now. And at night, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. I'm going to give you guys my initial kind of knee-jerk reactions after just listening to the crypto reserve, right? The crypto summit. And I actually talked about this in my Discord this morning. There's going to be a link down below. We have nothing to sell you, just building an awesome community. I talked about how this could potentially be a sell the news event, or rather, it might not be the groundbreaking info that everybody wants to hear. Here is why I say that. This is my thesis on that. The bar was so high for this summit. And what I mean by that is everywhere on crypto Twitter, in my Discord, not so much my Discord, but on Twitter, on like other people's YouTube comments, especially the YouTube comments, it was very much a, hey, if we don't get a zero capital gains tax on Bitcoin or other US cryptos, it's going to be a bust, right? I saw this all over polls on Twitter as well. And it's so interesting. Just before the crypto summit was live streamed, I was talking to a very good friend of mine, Noah, and we were kind of talking about how like that's a pretty significant ask or a pretty significant like want out of this. Either that happens or we kind of bust. So the crypto summit, it was very much a kind of, hey, thanks President Trump for, establishing the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And that was about it. The entire live stream was maybe 5 minutes. Correct me down below in the comments if it was longer than that. It felt only like 5 minutes. We learned zero new information out of it, right? Which was, I mean, if I'm being honest, it was kind of frustrating, right? I am very much a perma bull, but we didn't learn anything new from it. And I'm going to talk in a little bit about what I think the next steps are, so just stay to the end of the video. But I mentioned in my Discord this morning that I was transferring 10% of my bag to stables. I transferred another 10% of my bag into stables as the live stream was happening, right? And if you guys want to see what I'm doing kind of more in real time, link to the Discord is going to be down below. Again, it's totally free. So I transferred 20% of my bag within the past 8 hours into stables. And guys, I was holding some stables to begin with, right? It's interesting, like we think what's next for crypto? Like what catalysts do we have? And I actually was tweeting or Xing or whatever it's called now, that this was like a big nothing burger as it was going. And Crypto Lush, Kyle, he's an awesome guy. You should follow him on YouTube if you don't already. Crypto Lush, he was commenting like, hey, what do you think the next like big catalyst event is? And I have strong feelings on this, right? I do not think crypto's done and over with. I really do not think that. But as far as like what are the next catalysts? Well, from a very broad perspective, and then I'll kind of start to get more granular in a second as far as catalysts go. But from a very broad perspective, we are in a post-halving year, right? Bitcoin number go up is supposed to happen in a post-halving year. So there's that. The other thing is the global money supply is increasing. And there is someone actually did a regression on this. There is a 0.8 correlation with global money supply and Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin. So that's a pretty strong correlation. Well, the global money supply, or global M2, has been going up for a couple weeks now. And if you guys follow Colin Talks Crypto on YouTube or Twitter, he has some awesome graphs that he's made on TradingView. And he shows that there is a 72-day lag between when global money supply, M2, starts going up and when Bitcoin goes up. And he actually shows a historical context of this. And there is a very compelling argument, right? The regression correlation is 0.8. There's a very strong correlation between increasing money supply and the price of Bitcoin going up. So that is bullish kind of from a broad level perspective, right? Money supply is going up. We're in a post-having Bitcoin year. So those are kind of broad level things. More on the short term, I think we have a few potential bullish catalysts. The next one being the FOMC meeting, and that's March 19th. That's in 12 days, right? I'm filming this March 7th, the day of the crypto summit. I watched Powell's speech that he gave today. He gave roughly a 5-minute speech today, and he really much mimicked what he's been saying at a lot of these FOMC meetings, right? They're going to be data dependent. They're not going to be rushed. And I mention that because I do not think we are getting a rate cut at the March FOMC meeting in 12 days. I do not think we're getting a rate cut. The Fed Watch tool has it as at a 91% chance that rates stay the same. Now, that is lower than what it was a couple days ago. A couple days ago, it was a 97% chance that rates stay the same, or put differently, there was a 3% chance that we got a rate cut. Now there's roughly a 9% chance that we get a rate cut. That's in 12 days. I feel pretty strongly we are not getting a rate cut in 12 days, especially with inflation fears kind of spiking back up. But what could happen at that FOMC meeting is they could announce that we are going to end quantitative tightening. So what that means is, layman terms, is right now the Fed is reducing its balance sheet, right? The Fed is selling mortgage-backed securities and different treasury bonds to reduce its balance sheet. And right when the Fed does that, it kind of acts as a vacuum and pulls money out of the system, right? It creates a risk-off environment. So if we could stop that, that could signal that altcoin season is coming soon. So that's one kind of short-term, medium-term catalyst which could help crypto and Bitcoin. The other thing is we have all these tariffs, this stuff, like all these tariff concerns and uncertainty, right? We know that on April 2nd, retaliatory tariffs are going to go into effect. And what that means in just plain English is, hey, if you have a 20% tariff on the US, we're going to slap a 20% tariff right back at you. And the thought process of this is to kind of even out the playing field on different trade agreements and or trade wars that are currently in place. That could cause fear, could spook the market, right? Bitcoin is highly correlated with the S&P and the NASDAQ. So if those markets are doing not well, right, Bitcoin is not doing well. So the goal would be, hopefully we can get some more certainty, firm up some of these concerns that folks have in regards to the tariffs, okay? So we've got the tariff talk, we've got the Fed balance sheet, interest rates, no new info at this crypto summit. Yes, yesterday we did have the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve announced, and what that stated is we're putting the roughly 200,000 Bitcoin that the US holds, I think it's 198,000, right, into a kind of a Fort Knox, as you will, and we will never sell it. There are talks that we are going to try and acquire new Bitcoin, more Bitcoin, in ways that will not cost US taxpayers money. Two things that people are thinking of that we could add to the US Bitcoin Strategic Reserve by not costing US folks, taxpayer money, would be to collect taxes in Bitcoin. I really don't know if that's going to happen. I would never pay my taxes in Bitcoin. I would never recommend y'all pay your taxes in Bitcoin. Pay your taxes in fiat US dollars. Hold on to your Bitcoin. The other thing that they are proposing, which I actually could see happening, although we would need congressional and Senate support to do this, is convert some of our gold certificates that we currently hold and convert those to digital gold, i.e. Bitcoin. And that would allow us to buy more Bitcoin and increase the size of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Now, obviously, I'm filming this in my car, so I'm kind of just coming at you off the cuff, giving you my knee-jerk reaction to the crypto summit, which, in my opinion, was kind of a little bit of a disappointment, if I'm being honest. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the weekend, right? Do we sell off? So the last time I looked, the price was at, I think, 86,000. We actually went down to 85.9. As soon as I started filming this, we bounced back up to 70. It's going to be interesting to see like what happens to the Bitcoin price over the weekend when the traditional markets are closed. Because if Bitcoin does well, on Monday, the ETFs will buy. But the reverse is also true. If the Bitcoin price retraces over the weekend, there will be continued selling of Bitcoin from the ETFs, which just further hurts the price. So obviously, I'm going to be watching that over the weekend. That's why you follow me. If you guys are getting any value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, turn on notifications so more videos like this go to you. Plus, it really helps your boy out. The other thing is, we got unemployment data back today, okay? And it was weaker than expected, right? Or put differently, the expectations for inflation, or excuse me, for unemployment data was 4.0%. Unemployment data came back higher though. It was at 4.1%, which what that means in like layman terms is a weakening job force, right? Which could lead to a weakening economy. So there's lots of moving parts here. Subscribe here. I'm going to try to break this down in simple terms. I'm going to be posting all weekend. Join the Discord, link down below. I've got to run to the hospital because I still have to work for the next 6 hours. So guys, I will catch up with you on the next video. If you got any value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys later.